Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Europa Universalis IV with me, Alfapiomega, Meiou and Taxes in Greater Brittany. So we are still, unfortunately, back at +2 stability, but that's not the reason why I'm starting a new episode. Things are going well for us, the coring, not that. The coring is going good. The only province that we're not coring at this point is Landuma. That's going to be taken care of on its own in a while by building some of the commune hall buildings, probably also a church, and eventually time. So I'm feeling good regarding our future. However, I wanted to start this episode by going with one of your guys' suggestions. Now, we have a fairly good development in our provinces, our capital being the most developed. You guys see that we have pretty much almost all of the buildings. We have maximum roads, maximum fortress or castle building, and many of you have suggested that we go with the irrigation. Now, the irrigation is super expensive. It is one of the most expensive buildings that you can go with. However, in light of what kind of province we're looking at, this is not so terrible. This can further be adjusted by us not actually paying this much money, but either contributing manpower, which is super expensive, or partnering with local estate. That's one thing that we could do. They would cover half. Burgers would cover the half. Well, we can offer administrative oversight, which I don't think is a great idea right now, as we really need to get the technologies up. And we can convince the locals to contribute their local money. So I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go with the local estate. I'm gonna negotiate for them to cover a half because we are well ahead of time, so that would make sense. I'm gonna convince the locals to contribute a bit more, and I'm gonna pay off the remaining money which I can. And we're gonna start building the irrigation canals. Now the canals are a bit of a weird building. I'm gonna show you. I always go to, where is it, Cairo here as a as an example, because it shows well how the canals work. We have the extensive irrigation canals here, which is a level 2 building, I think. And you can see that it increases farming efficiency, so we produce more food and can support more people in the province. It gives an extra rural population capacity and a capacity modifier, and it helps with famines. We didn't really have any famines as far as I can tell in Europe at all. Maybe in the beginning. Yeah, there were some in the beginning. So this is useful to combat that. But other than that, it doesn't really help much. So mostly how this works is it modifies the deeper mechanics that are inside the game itself, where your population produces food, and the food that you have is multiplied by the farming efficiency which we have here, 70.9%. So basically this means that every person in our countryside can feed an extra 0.7 of a person. So if we have 497,000, let's say 500,000 people, they can feed approximately 380,000 people in the city. But wait, we got 719,000 people living in the city. How is it possible? Well, there are inner mechanics where inside your trade zones or trade nodes, people trade the food. So for example, oh, that's a bad choice. Yeah, like here, you have way more people. You have 337,000 people and only 25,000 people living in the city. So with this farming efficiency slightly lower than we have, they can feed additional, say, 200,000 people in a different province. So this mechanic is very complicated and quite complex. But yeah, I guess it's, why the hell not? We are rich as hell, so this is gonna help us be a bit more stable Yeah, for example, here we also have almost 800,000 people living in Brokernev, and each of them can feed 0.63 extra people. So this province alone can feed additional, say, 500,000 people. So that's how this works. So we got that. I resend the merchants. Okay, I consider this closed, so let's move on. I resend the merchants. We're building a couple of things, mostly in these provinces that you saw. I'm gonna invest a bit more into, well, it's kind of hard to call this Northern Brittany, because this is Northern Brittany. Wait. Here's Northern Brittany. So I should have called it New Northern Brittany. What this would be. What does the game call it? I saw you, Britain. Oh man, why don't you... Is it Breton Anglia? I can't see it. Well, let's go with Breton Anglia, because the new Brittany, or the Northern Brittany, is not working for me. Anyway, it's becoming fairly developed as far as we are concerned, mainly the central provinces. So I'm happy about that. I'm gonna click on it so you get a better view of how it works. So yeah, Wiltshire, sorry, not Wessex. Wiltshire is becoming one of our more developed provinces, same with Sussex and Devon. Of course, these two are a beast, but they still need to be integrated properly. I do wonder how the autonomy is going to work here when we're done with them. But yeah, this is looking good. Many of these now have way higher urban gravity, so I'm hoping that people will move there, or that they will breed. There are some provinces like Somerset that definitely need way more investments, because their urban gravity is so low. But yeah, even Devon, for example, is looking fairly good with the 44,000 people. It's actually pretty cool. Still not sure about Gwynedd, but the autonomy is continuously dropping. So this is a level 2 port or level 3? Level 2. So we might get a better port here eventually. So this is the place that I'm gonna invest in right now. After I have spent some money on the southern provinces here. Oh, fuck me again! But I'm fighting the corruption, you bastards. Oh, you piss me off so much. Now I'm gonna try to delay this and just pay the money, because we can't really take another stability hit. But this is really a fucked up way how the corruption screws with you. Yeah. How about this? I'm gonna use the money that I can get from you. I spoiled you so much that it's actually a good idea to spend a bit of that. And we're gonna use that to pay for the heated debates. Great. Now I think, yes, we can take the steam engine. Level 41 technology. Steam engines were devices that could produce force from heating water with burning coal. At first seen as little more than curiosities, in 1712 the new common steam engine was used to pump water from a mine. Other innovations soon followed, and steam engines became more powerful, safer, and more common. Within a generation, the first steam-powered factory would be built. Extra 2 states. Awesome. I'm not entirely sure if we can... I don't think we can do it because we don't have the cores here yet, but we'll see to that. So can I now build something here? Yes. Okay, that's my baby. And I'll need to look into the province of Vanduma as well. We might be a bit bold and steal a bit more from Mali, though their provinces are generally not worth it when you look at that. They have pretty much nobody living there. Is there any province? Yeah, Buri is very good, but that one I don't want to deal with. That such a chunk of land would be awful. Sure, about the construction. The Great Awakening. Inspired by itinerant preachers who spoke directly to the average person, Reformed Christians began to approach their faith in an intensely personal way. The movement emphasized personal responsibility, morality, and salvation, and having a direct relations with God. This helped lead to a Christian revival, renewing interest in faith that had been waning, and helped spread the faith to marginalized groups who normally would not be so approached for a conversion: women, blacks, and slaves. The revival preached against empty ritual and hierarchy that prevented people from experiencing God themselves, and this quickly brought it into conflict with the established churches. Soon the churches suffered schisms between the new white revivalists who embraced the new evangelism and old white traditionalists who wanted to keep ritual and hierarchy in the church. Keep an eye on the situation, no idea what that one is about. But when another news, Gloucester is now our core, which means that we have cored all of the provinces in South England, and many of which are starting to do slightly better. Only 2 of them still have some sort of province trauma, one being Gloucester, the other being Oxford, both having a mild province trauma, so that kinda sucks. But we're improving both. Gloucester needs to get a better port. It is only a fishing port, even though I believe the autonomy is gonna just drop like a rock, because it's next to Wiltshire, our local capital. Yeah, still, you know, it's a good idea to develop this province. They have very low urban gravity, so bumping it up a bit is not a bad idea. Gwynedd requires investment. I think I'm gonna go with the better port, but I'm still eyeballing Landuma because it finished what it had, and now we need to get the church there to start fighting the unrest, and it's gonna take a while. Colonies are doing fairly good. There's not much I can say to that. It's not our major investment anymore. I'm kind of considering having a war with them, but who knows. I started making a spy network in England because I'm thinking that if we could threaten them for Amamonad, we might be able to threaten them with another province. This time I would be interested in the coastal province of Deobarth, because quite honestly, it's shitty. It doesn't have much of a value, but it would connect our provinces with Gwynedd. So if I built a road network, I could connect Gwynedd even better than it is right now. So yeah, that is a possibility for the future. Sussex can't build anything because we already built something. This is all way too expensive, though. Building a merchant guild here might not be a bad idea. Maybe too premature. You guys have way more trade power and everything, so building a merchant quarter might be a better idea. But a city hall would be much better. Remember, it's a capital. And I have a plan to build the university in Oxford. You guys don't doubt that, I hope. So hey, no, 5 more gold. Well, alas, we'll have to wait. Oh boy, the game just has it in for me today. Smugglers running rampant. What a nice event. Either we lose 10% of trade and tax for the next 10 years, or we spend 2,939 gold on fighting them. Well, fuck me. I just went on a shopping spree and spent almost all of my money on buildings. We're gonna have to take free loans. Doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna let it run for a couple of months, and then I'm gonna take the stop them and then repay the loans. But holy crap! On the other hand, we're building a town hall in Akinet. We're building a town hall in Arguin. We're building a trade wharf in Gloucester. We're building a marketplace in Kalalisud, looking damn nice. Autonomy dropping fast. We're building a cathedral in Landuma finally. We're building a town hall in... wait, this is Oxford. We're building a town hall in Somerset, a merchant guild in Tamaran, and a city hall in Wiltshire. So the investments are flowing freely, which is great. I can't really say I would have any complaints about that. Technology-wise, we're starting to lower these penalties, and we're raking in the administrative power, so hopefully the voluntary hospitals will be somewhere in this episode. Regarding technologies, we're still doing fairly good, but we're behind Milan quite significantly. 45, 47, 47. We got 41 and 47, 47. So 4 technologies in administrative. Well, they don't seem to be... well, no, they are actually very powerful. They conquered quite a lot of territories in the whole Roman Empire. Can't really say... yeah. It's interesting. Is this guy still the emperor from Moravia? Yes, he is. Moral authority or imperial authority is 0, unfortunately. Well, not much I can say to that. But hey. Well, the Dutch War of Independence has started, and it's actually kind of a mess. France is at war with pretty much everyone. That's kind of an interesting... Milan has joined in. But Aragon is on the side of France. I'm tempted to join in and attack them. So who is France at war with? Bologna, Bohemia, Bayern, Landhust, Oils, Ratibus, Padua, Osnabrück and Tyrol. And United... now they don't really have a high stability point. They got a lot of corruption. Man, fighting them right now does not seem like a bad idea at all. I mean, it's not a good idea either, but we could significantly weaken France if this goes on. Milan's already on it. And it seems like Florence is already on it. Yeah, most of it... oh, wow. Though the Papal States have joined in. Let's see the United Provinces who... oh wait, so that's a different war. Haha, so they're in a different war. So we could join in this one and just try to pillage and plunder and see if we could get some loot. The Republic has had very poor relations with France for a long time, so do we dare attacking them? It might go very poorly for us. United Provinces, these are Catholic. I'm tempted to do it. I don't think we can get any provinces out of this, or that they could ask something from us. And we might be able to get a decent peace deal out of this if they just ignore us for a decent time. Though I think that they got claims on all of our provinces. No, they actually don't. No, they do have claim on La Rochelle, so they might just come for that. Oh man, this is hard choice. You know what? I think I'm gonna think about it, and I'll see you in the next episode where we decide whether or not we're gonna join into this war. But it seems like there might not be a better time for this than now. Because our estates... Oh, you guys are not gonna give me anything, right? But the Greater Nobles would give us additional... That's 19, 22 regiments. Lesser Nobles would give us another 11. I'm not saying that we could take on France, but I think that we could do some serious damage. Okay, so I'll see you in the next episode where we decide what to do.